4, aren't we?
Okay, this debate we're both for, and I think I can add a few against, though. And I think you'll start going my way when you say that. Yeah, just in our last video we discussed using like. That does not apply here. We are going to be using like full force. But anyway, so Twilight ended the series at Breaking Dawn. I don't know what Stephanie Meyer was thinking. Like, yeah, sure, she said she's gonna make an what's that new one called? Midnight Sun. Okay, Midnight Sun is not a sequel. It's another version of Twilight, which
it's Edward's version of Twilight. It's his point of view on how he met Bella.
Which necessarily is an interesting book to write, but what I'm saying is
interesting to read.
Yeah, not when you read Twilight.
Edward's grammar is so even beyond me, and I'm good with grammar.
Yeah, like, but we're both good with grammar.
It's so beyond me. I cannot for the life of me figure it out sometimes, and I'm really, really good at grammar. Even though I don't use it in my I don't use it in my speech, but I write very well.
So what I'm trying to say is okay, guys, if you haven't read Breaking Dawn, we suggest you stop watching right now, because we're going to discuss some things that happened in the end that we think still need answers.
And if you basically haven't read past Twilight, just stop.
Okay, so
just
now
leave right now.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. We'll give you 5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler time. Alright. What I think was left unsaid at the end of Breaking Dawn was, yes, Jacob imprinted it on Renesmee, which huh?
Don't talk about Leia.
Alright. We can do that after. No. Okay, so I didn't find that wrong. A lot of people, were like, oh, that's weird, right? But, you gotta consider the super speed, growing and stuff. But what I'm trying to say here is that she ended it at Edward and Bella's happily ever after. We never got to see how Renesmee would turn out like. Would she turn out like her mother or her father?
We never got to see Jacob and Renesmee's happily ever after.
You just said happily ever after.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, anyway, that aches because you know what? You want to know what happens next. I mean, you got this character that's a baby, and you don't get to see who she's going to turn out like.
Believe me, I'm not the biggest fan of Renesmee. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I am though. It's like.
But seriously, I'd want to read that.
Yeah, because, you know what?
Like, Jacob is one of the favorites.
What would it be like growing up as half vampire? What would the first high school be like? Pretending that her mom and her brother are like her siblings or whatever. That would just be weird. What would it be like when Jacob finally told Renesmee about imprinting? Just what would this all be like? And we never got answers to that.
And will Leia ever imprint?
Yes, okay. Just to make this clear, I say Leia. She says Leia, but we're both talking about the same character. We just pronounce it differently.
Leia is correct. Leia is not.
I say Leia is correct. That you guys can post whatever comment you want on that either, as well. Okay, so what I'm saying is, yeah, will she ever imprint? Because you know what? Sam,
took,
Emily.
They were in love, but he ended up imprinting on Emily.
Yeah, so it's like, Will Leah ever get her happily ever after? Will Seth ever imprint?
Oh, poor Seth.
And I know, yeah, you guys are thinking, well, it's supposed to be rare. Well, guys, like 5 people in their pack already imprinted. You guys are calling this rare?
There are what, like 7 people?
No.
I know, I'm making a little joke.
And also, we already know that Jacob has his own pack now, but will they ever reunite with Sam or whatever? And what happens when people start catching on with the whole charade? Will they where will they move to? Will Jacob move with them and leave the pack behind, or will the pack move with them?
You know what I'm thinking about? Like, if Renesmee is still living with her parents, and Jacob happens to come over, and they do the do.
No, not yet. No.
Yes, no, I have to. Okay. And what would Edward be like?
I would think
when she thinks these things.
Well, I would think that even the first damn kiss, Edward would come storming in or something. I don't know, but you know what? I think he would also have the right to say, "Holy shit, he's been in love with her for like 7 years. This is inevitable."
You know what? we want to know whether Jacob will stop phasing so he can grow older, or will he keep becoming the werewolf and just stay same age?
My opinion on that is that he'll keep becoming a werewolf,
just
mainly because
just
to stay so that he can stay with Renesmee. Also, so that he can protect her, because he's gonna be basically helpless if he's a human, right? So I think he'd stay. Leah, on the other hand, would she ever, stop phasing? Or it's just an interesting topic. And I seriously think that Stephenie Meyer should consider making another sequel.
What if she never imprints? So will she stop becoming a werewolf just so she can grow older like the rest of the people? And die, yeah.
And you know what? Will Charlie ever know that they're literal vampires?
Will Charlie become a vampire?
Probably not, but
I hope so.
Yeah, but
'cause that would probably be so hard on them.
And wait, are the Cullens allowed on the reservation now?
No, they're not.
No, they're not. So would Nessie be allowed on the reservation?
The res.
Okay, would they ever be allowed on, since they basically have an alliance now? I mean, there's no more hatred between these two groups.
There's no hatred between the pack and the vampires, but the rest of the town, the rest of the Quileutes, they still think that they're evil goers.
Evil goers, but yeah. But it's just so many questions that she left unsaid. And
it's like rattling our brains. Like, why would you do that to someone?
And it got me so mad when I read the end. I'm like, okay, here's
the
one
worst
thing.
2 words
Here's one
that you would ever hear with that.
The worst.
Keep going.
The worst thing is that it said the end at the end. And go figure. Well, what was I gonna say now? Sorry, she's just going to get the phone. But basically, Bella never had a motherly bond with Renesmee. She basically acted like the older sister. Would Alice be able to see Renesmee as she grows older, like more? What would happen if Renesmee got bitten by a vampire? These are all would she die? Would the whole time thing go backwards instead? She's taking a long time. But anyway, there's just so many questions that Stephenie Meyer just didn't answer, and I think that the fans would really want another one. And also something about the movie. What are they gonna do for the sequels as the actors grow older? Because they are supposed to be vampires, so they're supposed to look exactly the same. But that doesn't necessarily matter. So what I'm saying is, okay, you're back. Bitch. You're back. I've been ranting on about stuff. Hello. Okay, so basically I've basically covered about the whole thing. What would happen to Nessie if she got bitten by a vampire?
I think this is running a bit too long, so we'll probably make a second part.
Maybe. So we ended here. You guys can ask all your questions. We'll probably make a video responding to what we think might happen. So leave your questions. Leave if you think she should make another one besides Midnight Sun.
And again, we do take requests.
So
anything.
See ya.